Good morning, guys. How is everybody doing today? Hey, I just wanted to hop on right quick before I head to State Track in Omaha and talk to you guys a little bit about kind of continuing my series on what's good for us as far as nutrition and fitness. And today I'm going to focus on carbohydrates, and then next week I'm going to talk about proteins and fats and how important they are for our body. I've been doing a lot of research lately on the different kind of foods and how they affect our bodies. And as you guys can see, tons and tons of notes. And as I've always said, it's really important that you guys do your own research and know what works for your body and how it fits into your life versus what everybody else is doing. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on carbohydrates. There's two different kinds of carbohydrates. There's simple and there's complex. Simple are what they consider the bad carbohydrates, and the complex is what we consider good carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates, the reason they consider them bad is because they break down really quickly. And if the energy from those don't get used right away, it immediately turns to fat. And some examples of simple carbohydrates, darn it, is like cakes and desserts and your white flours and your sugars. And then you have your complex carbohydrates that have a longer chain of sugars, and they're packed full of fiber, so they take longer to break down, which extends your energy as well. And so some of those would be like, your whole wheats and your fruits and your vegetables. And it is crazy the amount of foods that have carbohydrates. It was insane as I was doing my research, thinking, oh, I'm watching my carbohydrate intake and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everything we eat has carbohydrates for a good reason. A certain amount of carbohydrates in our diets, you guys, is a good thing. You absolutely cannot function with a certain amount of carbohydrates in your body because it is what provides us with energy. You just have to find that amount that agrees with your body and works for you. And it's a trial and error. I'm still learning as I'm going through this process of learning why proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are important and what they do for me. So I'm still learning what the right amount of carbohydrates are for me as well. And there's a categories of good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. And when I write my blog later, I'll add some of that in. So make sure that you check that out so you can kind of see a list of good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates and why you should eat some of that stuff in moderation, even all of it. I mean, I was always under the misconception. Two of the biggest things that they tell you that you shouldn't eat is that I learned because I've always avoided corn because it's high in starch and high in sugar and wasn't good for us. But that's true when it comes to the stuff that you buy in the freezer or you buy in the can. But if you're taking a good old-fashioned corn or cob out of the field and eating it, that's good for you. And it's okay that you do that. You don't want to do it every day like with any food. But if you're going to have corn, eat corn on the cob. Another one is bananas. We always avoid bananas because they're high in calories and their sugar index as well. But it's okay to have bananas too every once in a while. Do it guilt-free. I think that we're all under this impression, or we all get this, we hear all this from the outside, and instead of doing research and educating ourselves like we should, we take all of this information that we hear in the media or that we hear from our friends or that we see on Facebook. The new fad is this or the new fad is that. You guys have to do your own research and see what works best for your body. So today when I post my blog, take a look on it because I did a lot of research on carbohydrates the last couple of weeks, and I've got a lot of good information in the reason that they're simple and the reason that there's complex, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. I'm headed out the door to State Track. Tune in with me tomorrow and Saturday as I give live updates from how our kids from Imperial are doing and how they're going to bring home the gold. You guys have a fabulous weekend, and I can't wait to talk to you again on Monday. See you soon.